The Den's closed for business for another week, but welcome back to Dragon's Den on the Red Button, a glimpse behind the scenes, with insights into the investments the Dragons made.
Well, you certainly get a first impression of Angela, don't you?
I loved Angela. I loved her whole character, the way she was dressed.
I live and breathe what I do. I bake, I cook, I collect vintage clothing, I dress people up. I just did what I loved and it just evolved into business. I have just been in front of the Dragons pitching my dream. I mean, it's a really bizarre thing watching a show so much and seeing these like familiar faces and your heart is like nearly in your mouth.
I loved Angela. I loved her whole character, the way she was dressed, her smile, her look. Well, most of her look.
Well, you certainly get a first impression of Angela, don't you? I mean, she walked up those stairs and her look just slaps you around the face and says, look at me. She brought a dance troupe with her. They looked great. They didn't look like they were just wearing costumes, fancy dress. They looked like they lived in that era and they walked in that era and they danced in that era. There's an authenticity about Angela and about everything that she does. My first impression was not somebody who was here standing there in costume. There was somebody who was deeply embedded in what they were doing.
Hello, I'm Angela Newman and I'm here today to ask for £100,000 in return for 30% equity in my business.
So here was somebody who was beginning to, on the face of it, they looked like they were very visual, but they were building up a picture of a lot more than just somebody who just, had pink hair and a blue dress and an idea. This was somebody of substance. So I was a little surprised and very disappointed when Angela talked about a property in Soho that she had found.
My reasoning for going on there was to tell them what I'm doing, show them all the products, and then tell them this is where I want to take it. I want to have a store, and this is how much that I know I can get rents for.
And I asked for the terms of the lease and she looked aghast at me. I mean, she could not answer the most basic questions. That was really disappointing.
Look, Angela was not the finished article by no stretch of the imagination, and neither was her pitch.
I was so sure that I knew every number and that they would ask me X, Y and Z, and as soon as they asked something in a different format, you're under this pressure to answer, and I think they knew that actually I wasn't an idiot.
But you know what, there was something about her. She was driven. And if she was the finished article, she wouldn't be standing there. She wanted something from us. And I felt that something was able to be provided if we then got the rest of the pitch right. And she did. She went on and got the rest of the pitch right.
I hope that they can see that I'm a quick learner. So, next time I go and see a shop, first question will be the lease terms. God, it's going to haunt me.
Well, I kind of started off thinking, this is great. But I think this really is a business for you and you alone. And then I changed my mind.
I think I wanted to sell my concept a little bit more to these guys, and they hadn't really given me a chance to actually sell what I was selling.
We were looking at the board of the Vintage Patisserie, and there's something that she really didn't focus on that I really liked. This idea that you'd be able to go into the patisserie and have your teas and coffees and your lovely fairy cakes. And then she talked about these screens that people are going to be able to go in and actually design their own fairy cakes. And I thought, that's great. I think what we were looking at in the Den is very much the Vintage Patisserie is the spiritual home. To me, that is the physical, spiritual home. And what we will then do with that is work that through the internet. I'm going to offer you half the money.
I was so close to tears when Deborah made the offer.
And I want 20% of the business.
Just because, I so wanted her. I know she's a hard worker and that she can bring the best out of me. I just wanted to cry. I nearly was close. I mean, it's quite an emotional day anyway. I held it together last second, and I was praying that Theo would be the other half.
Love the knickers. Love the other clothing.
I was just saying to myself, wow, you know, this can't really be true. And as soon as he said it,
I too going to make you an offer.
I think the other dragon started laughing because my face was so comical.
The other £50,000, 20%.
Deborah and Theo were my dragons that I wanted to invest, and I was so happy that Deborah, she knew this scene, this mood as she called it, and that really meant a lot. And she talked about that we looked authentic, and I knew that she liked what I was doing.
What I think about vintage patisserie is that whilst it is nostalgic, it takes this sort of nostalgia but presents it in a modern way. So it doesn't feel to us like we're going backwards, because I think that there is a real mood at the moment, a real fear of going forward, what's happening in the future. But there's also, I think, a bigger fear that we're going to drop back as a nation. So I think to actually just take people back to the past is a dangerous route. They've got to feel that it's extremely current and relevant in today's climate. And you can see that from Angela. She's got bright pink hair. She's got a more contemporary version in a contemporary fabric of the dress that they would have worn, but it is contemporary.
I know that my business is a high risk business, and I thought they might go for a little bit higher, actually. And I sort of had a cut-off that I wouldn't go above anything that took away my creativeness. And I don't think that they would want that. I'm very motivated doing what I'm doing, and maybe Deborah did it on the basis that she knows that if she goes too high, that motivation may go. So it was a really generous offer. I'm not going to let them down. I mean, I work 24/7 anyway, and it's just going to carry on, and maybe this is the start. I don't know.
Well, it's up to you, but hello. We were just having a business meeting in there.
Do you mind?
Do you mind?
We're trying to talk business.
I've been working with Deborah since she started on Dragon's Den. So my working relationship with Deborah is excellent. We actually think alike. It's very rare that we actually disagree on many things. We think, very similarly. So I think we're going to have some great fun working together.
Well done, you.
Oh, thank you so much. I don't know how I'm meant to feel because I'm so tired, and I just want to have a good night's sleep, and have a bit of a cry, get some emotion out, and I think it will sink in later when I'm having a nice glass of wine with my team.
We think we're all mad.
Do you?
We've
No, we
invested in
don't.
you.
Yeah, we did.
No, you did. Doing the pitch, this was my biggest worry. And maybe I spent too much time practicing the pitch and not enough time knowing every angle of knowing the figures. Because numbers are what I'm better at. I was so nervous, obviously, because I'm totally dyslexic. I was always good at maths, and speaking for me today, in front of you guys, I don't feel like I'm that articulate, and it's been, on my mind since I found out that I would be in front of them. So to do it like I did, I just feel that I have to be very proud of myself because it was a big thing for me. And I am.
That was a lovely moment when James said to you, is there any point? And you said, well, to be honest,
No.
When James started talking to me, I have to say this is a little bit of a blur. I was, I'm a bit of a fan of James as a people person, and when he asked me whether he should make me an offer, and what am I going to say? I actually didn't want to say yes because I actually knew that I was going to accept the other two. But of course I want him to make me an offer. Dinner, a coffee.
oh, James, you don't know what that means.
But it was nice that he again he got it.
It was that is a magical
I went
moment.
in and you were you were the two that I wanted so much. But obviously, I know.
By a long chalk. In this sort of business, by a long chalk.
I always say that you two are the hard-working ones. Get your hands dirty.
Exactly.
I know that.
Not actually dirty, just working. Nothing dirty about those hands and those fingernails.
You know what? You you always have dreams. You have to kind of, being an entrepreneur isn't easy.
And you're going to be heading a shop up
Yes.
from day one
Yeah.
and cracking the whip.
Oh yeah. I can do that.
You good at that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I've got a smile, but there's some passion and power behind.
We'd
what I
like
say.
that.
Every day you work long hours. You sometimes do a lot of labour of love stuff, and you have to have a final vision.
Well done. I'm really looking forward.
And I've always had a dream of having a sort of magical space that's, you know, filled with really unusual fairy tale, really enchanting, and yeah, of course, you have to have your dreams.
Well,
And she's got such good taste.
of course.
Just chose the two best
Obvious.
dragons. You've just got such good taste.
It was the only 2 dragons. I mean, the others were never in the running.
That's it for this week, but remember the Dragon's Den website is open 24/7. Exclusive to the website, Dominic Byrne presents the Dragon's Den road tests,
Well, it's big and it's green, which makes it a bin, I think.
where he'll be putting products pitched in this episode through their paces with members of the public across the UK.
Okay, you look massively unimpressed.
Do I? Give it away.
If you're going to be an entrepreneur and you want to come into the den, make an effort.
It's not as good as my mum, who takes all my deliveries.
I'm out straight away. Wouldn't even think about it.